Всем привет. Ну что ж, продолжим играть в вампир. Продолжить. Мы там практически открыли еще один райончик новый с новыми людьми. Клуб вампирский. Нам надо будет посетить, пообщаться со старейшиной этого города, с вампиром. Так что посмотрим. Да, мы, кстати, сейчас у себя в особняке. Вот. Так, можно поспать, можно не спать. Сюда попробуем побазарить. Так, мы тут все открыли. Все забрали. Так, там нас... Блин, ну опять вот эти метки гребаные. Так, мы там... Надо поговорить со своими. Я думаю, стоит попробовать.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan? I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reed expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
Так, вот это.
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reed is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reed was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Привет, тапок. Да пока по другим как бы играм тоже. Потихонечку все проходить надо.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reed myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very
Где
fond
больше
of
солнца.
France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reed is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared
Да,
by the
очень.
epidemic, but the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
Да, если он боится крестов всяких даже.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To
Ну,
be present
почти.
at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I'm sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
Ну, слушай, ну это мифология все-таки отчасти, как бы. Да, там надо смотреть, как бы, почему они боятся всего этого. Там разных, ну, есть, конечно, как бы оригинал, но уже сколько фильмов, сериалов, мульты, уже все столько переснимали, поснимали и все преизвратили, по факту. Что я думаю, теперь оригинал ты хрен найдешь.
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me. Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reid was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
Considering the recent tragedies in this family, I'd understand if you want to leave or decide to serve another house.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
Do you really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
I really don't know. I have always enjoyed seeing new horizons. Once the epidemic is over, it would be nice to leave London for a while.
I understand, Mr. Jonathan. But you have to realize that your mother needs you. Your next departure could break her heart.
Братская. Ну, кто знает.
Of course, Mr.
Это я говорю, здесь про вампиры тут такая дилемма на самом деле. Почему они всего боятся и так далее. Блин, ну что за звуки, а то стекло трет так. Так, о чем бегаем кругами-то? Пошли. Так, нам ее надо найти. Матер. Вот она.
Mother, good evening.
Jonathan, is it you? Where have you been, my prodigal son?
I'm right here, Mother. I'm finally home.
Yes, for this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and now found. But where is your sister? Where is Mary?
Mary? She is gone, Mother.
I know she's gone. The question is, when will she return as you have? I miss my grandson so much. It's been days since their last visit.
Внуку. Понимаешь, даже я не помню, какой самый последний свежий фильм-то про вампира-то был. По-моему, Дракула назывался или как, или нет? Там с этим, там эти актеры-то были довольно-таки такие известные, это еще.
Have you returned to Whitechapel?
Там вообще как-то странно все было
I
тоже.
never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Она под гипнозом была.
Mother?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Что за чушь она несет-то, интересно. Ну, блин, там, я говорю, был фильм последний. Сейчас, давай паузу пока поставим. А вот, 2014 года, по-моему, последний был. По-моему, так назывался, Дракула. Вот, 14 год. Ну, в принципе, вот неплохой фильм был.
Tell me, mother, how are you? All alone in this big house with only Avery.
Таким еще с намеком на продолжение в наше время, но фильм закрыли.
Sad that you don't tell me when you come or go.
I'm so sorry, mother. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I was coming home. I was home. London, the Thames, and then it happened.
What happened, Johnny?
Вот, то есть там как бы было продолжение, намек на продолжение, но, увы. Потом есть сериал «Дракула», не помню тоже какой студии. Вот довольно был тоже интересный, но тоже закрыли. Но там вообще церковь сама его создала, как в итоге там по сериалу было. Поэтому все перевратили, изменили за эти года про вампиров.
I lost my way. Somewhere between the boat and the house, my life changed completely.
You should have told me, Johnny. I would have understood. You always were a secretive little boy.
Так.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject, and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique.
А,
I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous?
Она тоже
Is
мертва.
she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Вообще странно как-то, если честно.
Do you need anything, mother?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead
Мертвый
eyes.
взгляд. Как бы
Do you think
сомневался.
Avery is right? Do you think I should take better care of you?
I don't blame you, but you abandoned me, son. A mother should not survive her children. It's unbearable to know you're not here anymore.
I wish I could stay here and take care of you. But I'm involved in some terrible things, and I don't want to put you in any danger.
You don't have to apologize to me, Johnny. Do you think I did not notice how much you have changed?
Have I changed that much, Mother? Am I still your son?
You are still,
Да, хороший вопрос,
and you'll
кстати.
always be. Despite your pale skin, your bloody eyes, and that echoing sadness in your voice.
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson? And my son-in-law? You're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you,
Она считает его призраком,
trying
походу.
not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
Она, походу, призраком считает.
Father seems to have left me some documents. Some sort of treasure hunt game. Do you know anything about them?
No, Johnny. But your father always loved to write these little games for you when you were a boy. Don't you remember?
I remember now. He used to post me these riddles, as though they were sent by a mysterious games master. I'd spend weeks trying to decipher them.
Your father was always so proud each time you found the answer. He was not just the serious doer banker everybody thought he was.
I was proud too. How could I forget that?
The important thing is that you remember it now. I'll tell your father the next time I see him. He'll be so happy.
Could Father have conceived some sort of...
I really can't say, Johnny. Perhaps you should talk with Avery about that. He was your father's confidant, more than I.
Goodbye, Mother.
Goodbye, son.
Так, понятно. Попробуем с ним побазарить.
Yes, Mr.
Goodbye.
Of course, Mr.
Так, ладно, погнали на улицу. Давай базари теперь со всеми. А, вот, кстати, торгаш какой-то.
Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Rид.
Welcome, Dr. Reed. Welcome to my humble shop.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
You cannot expect the newspapers to expose the truth while the war is still raging. I can assure you that the situation here is desperate.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
Да, дебилоид какой-то.
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
Finding a good restaurant? Is that really all that interests you?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing place,
Экзотическое.
share the address.
Ну да.
Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain je ne sais quoi of its own.
Do you have any family?
Not since my parents died.
Really? But you...
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
London's lone gourmet.
Странно.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
Понятно. Так. Это были личные, да? Да. Давай посмотрим, что у тебя есть у дурака. Ага. Ну, надо бы что-то, конечно, но... Так, ладно, погнали дальше. Так, где тут еще были? Давай с
Good
ней.
evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill
О,
me.
как, ни хрена себе.
Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reed. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
Я же был...
I
А, ни
understand
хрена
she
себе.
also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young econs. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte.
То есть она это, дочка той рыжей, получается.
What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reed?
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
I suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
А, сегодня, кстати, читал, на Твиче запретили хэштеги, это белый. Вообще зашибись.
Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I
Призвел.
still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see. And one day, I'll have my death to face.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is econ, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
Ну да, возможно. Так это, они могут запретить это без вебки быть. Либо надо будет что-то там отмечать галочку.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
О, попёрло. Болеешь белухой.
Are you a suffragette then? Oh, you really are, Elizabeth.
Суфражистка, как это раньше
Without a
называлось.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time, even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much. Too bad there aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reed. And please, don't tell my mother.
What exactly?
Your name and profession, obviously. And the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was
Всё
not your
рассказала
fault.
Does it
буквально.
not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reed? Or you?
Perhaps it's wise for a mortal never to totally trust a vampire. Your mother herself told me that we Ekon are creatures of deception. Maybe it's because we seem so... alive.
That may be true for a naive girl. But I have the best teacher when it comes to getting rid of an insistent immortal.
Your mother is not like any other vampire I've met.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reed.
Do you know why Lady Ashbury...
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How was it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Ну,
Goodbye,
да.
Give...
She's been quite busy these last few nights.
Да, кто знает. Так, а где он был тут же, чувак-то?
Oh, I can't continue like this.
Good evening, miss. Can I help you?
I am Karina Billow. I don't need any doctor. The rats. Where are the rats?
Miss, you don't seem well at all. Are you afraid of rats?
Кибернетический, да?
It's me who bites them. Tasty, juicy,
Ё-моё.
disgusting rats. I can't stop eating them. Help me, please. Help me to disobey the voice.
Can I help you?
The rats.
What happened to you?
The rats. The answer hides in their little crunchy bones. Their
Ё-моё.
juicy, tiny brains.
Miss Billow, please, try to concentrate. Why do you worry about rats so much?
The voice in my head. He forces me to do so. Drink their blood, he said. Eat their flesh.
Do you feel compelled to obey that voice, Miss Billow? Even if you're loath to submit to it?
Yes. Please. Help.
Tell me about the voice in your head. Who is it? Can you describe it? Is it someone you know? Someone you met?
Keep your mouth shut, he said. Don't ever speak about me, or I'll abandon you. Help me, please, Doctor.
Tell me about yourself, Miss Billow.
I'm hungry. Need to eat. Have you got something?
Don't you remember who you are, miss?
I was strong, proud. I campaigned for good causes. But that was before. Before. It does not matter anymore. I'm so hungry.
What is the look?
Shadows. Shadows hunting shadows.
А, нельзя так вылечить, да? Ладно, отпустим.
It's locked, all right.
Какая-то пещера. Может, потом сюда надо будет идти. Давай потом сюда сходим, может сюда по сюжетке надо будет. Так. Не пойдем туда. Вот он, чувак.
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you recognize your
Ого,
oldest friend?
дружище.
Clarence. Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too. So sorry I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
When did you escape the war and return to London?
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
I know what you mean. I haven't had much time to think about the war either since my return.
Of course. With the epidemic, I bet you've been busy as well. Forgive me, Johnny, I didn't want to sound selfish.
What is this new battle?
I saw terrible things during the war. Horrors I thought I'd forget. They're here too. They're everywhere.
Еще один охотник.
Clarence, why have you distributed leaflets about vampires all across the West End?
I have to warn everybody about them. They've killed thousands of people already, unnoticed thanks to the epidemic. We are all in danger here.
Vampires in London? Come on, Clarence. Who's going to believe that?
I'm not mad, Jonathan. You have to believe me. I know they are real. They're all around us, even as we speak.
Ладно.
Clarence, you've always been a reliable and a good friend to me. If you say you saw a vampire, then I believe you.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for your trust. You don't know what that means to me.
It's all right. But if you want my help, you have to explain exactly what happened.
The first time it was in Rouen. I saw an officer drink the blood of a soldier. I saw its teeth, saw it bite. It was a vampire, Johnny, and they're here too.
Tell me what you have discovered about vampires, Clarence.
They've always been here. And if you search for long enough, you realize others know about these devils too. I'm not alone.
Have you shared your research with anybody else?
No. But I've published my leaflets all across the city, hoping that someday someone will realize I'm printing the truth.
What do you mean you're not alone? Who have you met?
The Guard of Prewin, the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole, Ichabod Throgmorton. Those names always pop up when you dig deep enough.
Have you spoken with any of them?
No. With the quarantine, it's almost impossible to leave the West End. But as a doctor, maybe you could, Johnny.
Are you asking me to help you prove the existence of vampires, Clarence?
Yes, Johnny. Please, gather all the information you can find about vampires and bring it to me. You're the only friend I have left. I need you.
Надо будет подумать.
Clarence, tell me about the vampire you saw in France.
I was enjoying my leave in Rouen. I left the bar, took a shortcut back to the barracks. I saw it in a back alley. An officer in a stained uniform, biting into a soldier's neck.
Не просто тут вампиром стать на самом деле, как и рассказывают.
But you were drunk, weren't you? Are you sure these two men were not just kissing?
Please don't insult me, Johnny. I hid, and I saw him leave. Then I saw the body, drained of all blood. I've seen the same marks here in London since I've returned.
Did you ever see that officer again?
No. He wore the uniform of the Royal Warwickshire Regiment. I did some research, but found no trace of him. He probably stole it from a previous victim.
How is your wife? Venus.
We've spent so much time away from each other, and so many things have happened.
But you're alive. You returned in one piece.
Здесь, чтобы стать вампиром, тут чуть ли не целый ритуал требуется.
Quite that simple. Unlike you, I'm not the man I used to be.
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus was relieved to see you return from France in one piece.
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny? Venus fears for our family reputation. Now her husband has become the village idiot.
You need some rest.
Так, вот это интересно. А, мигрень, а у нас нет от мигрени ничего. Так. Есть у меня что-нибудь от мигрени?
Good evening, old.
I won't.
Do you need medical
It's a little.
А,
What can I say? I haven't.
I hope we're talking about the same hap.
You need.
Так, окей, далее. Что у нас в порту? Вот, чё, кто? А, простуда. Ну, этот придурок вообще, я не понимаю, где его найти. Еще кто-то неизвестный. Невралгию вообще не знаю, как лечить. Нам бы в порт, на самом деле, критическое, ни хрена себе. Из-за того, что тут раз, два, три, четыре, четверо сдохло. В порт, в порт. Не хочу я в порт. Так, а где его жонку-то найти? Вот это вопрос. А, ну вообще здесь в порт не так далеко. Вроде карта кажется маленькая, но, блин, бегать задолбаешься, честное слово. Вот этими коридорами, переулками. Короче, ладно, хрен с ним. Блин, а как хрен с ним? У нас, кстати, еще расследование. Опять метка поставилась. Да ты проклят, а?
Could be someone you know.
А, вот, сюда. Так, это я в порт открыл, да? Да. Нахрен скали эти. Не хочу я сражаться. Интересно. Ну, нашел я дома, и что дальше? А в этот дом по факту можно попасть. А кто тут живет?
Hello? Is anyone there?
Jonathan.
А, это жонка его, походу,
Did not know
этого
you were
друга.
back in London. Oh, my dear Johnny.
Или
I'm
нет?
so sorry for your loss. Mary was such a sweetheart.
Thank you, Venus.
А, ну
May
да.
I come in?
I was going to bed, actually.
Ах ты ж падла.
Forgive me.
I'll tell you.
Ну ладно. Так, наверное, походу только по сюжетке откроется гипноз. Я так понял. Погнали, когда по скалон. Погнали в клубешник. Есть что-нибудь тут на задних дворах-то? Водичка какая-то. Ну, погнали к вампирам. Ну, поэтому и спрашивают, войти. Могу ли я войти? О,
Do you know where you are standing right now?
In front of the Ascalon Club, I presume.
The Ascalon Club only summons or ostracizes. What is your business tonight?
I received an invitation. I'm Dr. Jonathan Rid.
почему он и спрашивает? Вы загипнотизировать ему хочет.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, then, Dr. Reed. Please proceed. Lord Redgrave is waiting on you upstairs.
Ни хрена себе, тут уже трупаки лежат.
Welcome to the Ascalon Club, then, Dr. Reed.
А, это и есть сериал, кстати говоря. Блин, он довольно интересный. Забыл, как называется. Буквально, по-моему, месяца-два назад сезон закончился. Ох, где там они в одно место попадают, и там всякая
There
дичь
has been quite a
происходит.
battle here. I'm sure the Ascalon Club has the money to replace the furniture.
Походу, эти попытались, да, штурмом взять. Походу, ничего не получилось. Ничего нельзя украсть тут. Блин, слушай, а я даже тебя назову сейчас сериал. Это довольно интересный. Блин. А может, я не найду. Блин, не найду, наверное. Сейчас или не вспомнить. Да не-не-не-не-не-не. Не сюда. Ой, блин. Короче, попробуй вбить какой-нибудь топ-сериалы там 22-го года. Блин, я же так даже название не вспомню. Хороший кинжал. То ли иное, то ли еще как-то так, блин. Слушай, мне, наверное, даже и не сохранился. Наверное. Пу-пу-пу-пу-пум, да. Я его полностью удалил. Опиум. Хороший вампир с опиумом. На ты.
It's locked.
Good evening. We repel the intruders for now.
Все... А, тут частично все вампиры. Парах какой-то.
My good friends, if I may have your attention. Behold our visitor, the good Dr. Reid. Newborn of blood so pure and strong that even my friend Fergal Bansher was no match for him.
Here, here, here!
Come forward, young Ekon, for we have so much to discuss. Welcome to the Ascalon Club, Dr. Reid. I am Lord Redgrave, Earl of Bristol and chairman of this exclusive association.
Lord Redgrave.
At last we meet. I've been eager to make your acquaintance. I've heard some astounding things about you. Please accept my condolences for your loss, Dr. Reid.
Thank you, my lord. Lady Ashbury expressed your wish to meet me.
Yes. The lady has always been a useful acquaintance, though not always reliable. Is she a good friend of yours?
Yes, she is. I may even say I admire her probity and her kindness. She has helped me since I was reborn.
The centuries have taught me never to trust a woman completely, especially if she is immortal. Too prone to emotions, if you ask me. Too fickle when it comes to important decisions.
My lord, do not expect me to speak ill of Lady Ashbury.
Of course not, and I praise your loyalty. Would you offer the same fidelity to the Empire?
What do you mean?
I speak of this skull plague that threatens London and the country. You have been on the front line in the East End, but the time has come to open up a second front here.
The epidemic has escaped the quarantine. You have new cases of the outbreak.
We don't know for certain, but we cannot allow the disease to threaten the prominent heads of Great Britain.
Интересно.
Why have you asked me here?
Because the crisis is escalating. Our enemies, the Guard of Priwen, have even launched an open hunt. The only way to calm things down is to put an end to the epidemic.
You want me to find possible sources of the outbreak in the West End? Is that it?
Ah, straight to the point, like all eager newborns. We shall have time to talk about all this, Dr. Reid, but first, I should like to get to know you better.
Talk? Is that the only reason you asked me here?
Well, no. I also wanted to meet the intriguing Ekon, who made such a powerful progeny of his sister. You have not learned the name of your maker, am I correct?
Да, такой чувак, конечно.
No, I haven't.
Have no embarrassment, Dr. Reid. We all make mistakes. But whatever your lineage, you are definitely Ascalon material.
What do you mean?
I would like you to become a member of the Ascalon Club, and to serve me as such.
Интересный сразу такой чувак к делам предлагает приступить.
Before I accept, I have so many questions.
Please ask.
What does it mean to be a member of the Ascalon Club?
It means that you swear to protect the interests of the Crown, that you become a loyal servant of the British Empire.
Do you have any official recognition from the government? A charter from His Majesty the King?
No. Of course, the Ascalon Club publicly supports the Empire, but the true nature of its members remains a secret.
Am I supposed to follow orders?
As founder and chairman of the club, I alone am entitled to make demands of our members. And I do appreciate obedience.
What is the Ascalon
Это
Club's
странно, камера
express
сделана.
purpose?
We follow the credo of William Marshall, the greatest knight who ever lived. As was he, we are sworn to protect the British Empire.
What does Ascalon mean?
Ascalon was the lance wielded by St. George, glorious patron saint of England when he slew the dragon. And like that lance, we pierce the hearts of all our nation's enemies.
William Marshall founded the Ascalon Club.
Not exactly. William Marshall granted me immortality, and I founded the club a few years later. The good knight has been gone for so long.
I killed Fergal, who claimed to be one of yours, sent to cleanse the East End of all Skulls. Will his death be an issue?
Do not worry. My priorities have changed. Fergal was a zealous servant of mine, but like any servant, he had his limitations and is readily replaced if necessary.
Окей.
I agree to join the club.
This is good news. Good news indeed in these crucial times. Let's inform the Assembly formally and proceed with your initiation.
My initiation?
Fear not. Nothing fancy nor dangerous. It is just that we, the members of Ascalon, believe that tradition and custom are the backbone of this country.
Давай посмотрим.
My fellow members, dear friends, please gather and welcome this Ekon as one of our own.
Is he worthy? Is his blood pure?
Well, speak, Dr. Reed, in front of the most sacred blood. The blood of our beloved William Marshall, speak now. Will you serve and protect the crown as he did?
Yes, I will.
Then, young Ekon, it is time to testify with your blood. It is time to sign the Book of Allegiance.
Книгу служения. Нормально.
I know it's awfully gothic and a tad pedantic, but England's traditions are the backbone of our nation. Delightful. Welcome to the Ascalon Club, Dr. Reed. Take your place among the bearers of the lance.
One of us! One of us!
Старичок, ты человек.
I casually went patrolling last night in the West End, and I spotted at least 2 foreign Ekons. This is an outrage. We shall chase these intruders down.
I was chased by a gigantic Valcod 2 nights ago. I thought it was Fergal coming back, but no. That creature barely spoke English.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. How does it feel to be this evening's centerpiece? Figuratively.
I feel perfectly fine. Do I have cause for concern?
Do not be alarmed. The Ascalon Club has a tried and tested policy for choosing its initiates.
May I ask who you are, sir?
Why would you be interested?
Well, as you seem to be the only man in the room with a beating heart, you draw quite a bit of attention yourself.
Vampire senses never cease to fascinate me. They dwarf those of mere mortals. I am Aloysius Dawson, by the way.
По-моему, тоже какой-то высших
Are you a member of the
чиновников.
club?
Yes, I am. And I have been for many years. And will be until the day I die.
What can you tell me about it?
It's not really my place to give you such information. I am merely a mortal member, and a dying one at that.
Are you
Personally, I consider my advancing years are a sickness in itself. My body is slowly abandoning me, Dr. Reed.
Are you not afraid? You are surrounded by vampires.
Sir, it's for that very reason that I joined the club in the first place.
Ну, так-то логично.
Is not the nature of this club a secret shared by only a privileged few?
My dear Dr. Reed, I have spent years and a fortune precisely to gather that kind of information.
So you asked for membership?
I have been a member of many clubs in many countries. But I must admit, this one is my favorite.
What can you tell me about Lord Redgrave?
I would not dare speak of our chairman without his consent.
Mr. Dawson, of Dawson and Dawson, the wealthiest man in England. It is a pleasure to meet such a prominent figure of London.
A withering London figurehead, to be precise.
Are you sick, Mr. Dawson? I am a doctor, you know.
My case is beyond the scope of traditional medicine. I have spent fortunes on the world's most competent doctors to arrive at that diagnostic conclusion.
I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Should I suppose that you're here in search of some form of immortality?
Absolutely not. I'm here to implement my plan to save the city I was born in. To cast out the ghastly evil that has us all on our knees.
What do you know about the Guard of Prewin?
I should not say this, but I admire their commitment. This is what the nation needs right now.
But they are our enemies.
They are not mine, Dr. Reed.
Would you help them?
No. There is a time for such methods. But brute force will not be enough to fight this plague. We have to think differently.
Так.
What is the situation like in this part of town?
I am sure Lord Redgrave will enlighten you more effectively than I.
Money cannot solve every problem. This mysterious epidemic is going to require more than money can buy.
You're right. Money is nothing unless one has the will to wield it. I have a plan, sir. A radical one that will save all that is essential in London.
What is your plan, then?
Quarantine and barricades are futile. What we need is a wall. A formidable, unscalable wall to isolate the deserving from the infected masses.
But that would segregate the rich from the poor, would it not? It would be unjust.
Our only course of action must be to save England. And to save England, we have to make sacrifices.
Are you not mistaking sacrifice for summary execution?
Why do you care? Are you not a vampire? Removed from all mortal concerns? Decisiveness is what the city needs, and it needs it now.
Ну, фиг его знает. Так, давай с этим тебе побазарим.
That went well, did it not? It is always useful to bolster the troops' morale, especially before a difficult battle.
You have the makings of a general, my lord.
I was, though very long ago. Well, not quite a general, but a proud defender of the crown.
So why did you really want to meet me?
Straight to the point again, young Ekon. All right, let's talk, you and I, Lance Sparrow.
I'm listening, my lord.
According to my spies, you have worked with Dr. Edgar Swansea on the epidemic. and your findings were quite alarming.
Do you know Edgar Swansea?
Not personally, but I've been told he has some sort of immortal fetish and is a good friend of yours.
Does it bother you that I consider him my good friend?
As long as you reveal nothing of the club's inner workings, why should I forbid you engaging in conversation with the good Dr. Swansea?
You were spying on me?
Not personally. I rarely leave this building. But once he found you, Fergal kept me informed. Until you put an end to his mission.
Who was Fergal? I don't see him sipping tea with the others in the club.
Fergal Banshire was my squire of sorts. Even before becoming that magnificent beast, he was a brute. He served me well for decades.
No, I mean, what was he? He was clearly no ordinary vampire.
No, he was a Volcod. All muscles and instinct. Quite the rare breed. Ferociously territorial. Mortals often mistake them for werewolves.
А, то есть это типа те волчары, но только вампиры, что ли?
You do know I killed
Или
him.
как?
Yes.
Will you bear ill will towards me for his death?
Of course not. Your victory was quite impressive and courageous. You earned my respect.
Yes, I'm convinced the recent invasion of frenzied scowls in London is directly linked to the epidemic. This is not the Spanish flu, but something else.
I would be glad to hear more of your discoveries, Dr. Reed, but for now, my main concern is the security of London's inhabitants, both mortal and immortal.
What do you mean?
Alarmed by the epidemic, the Guard of Prewen has started a war against us British vampires. To appease the situation, we must eradicate the Skulls.
I have met peaceful and wise Skulls. To exterminate them means we are no better than vampire hunters.
Skulls are hideous, shameful creatures that give all Ekon a bad name.
So, what do you want me to do?
I want you to investigate the city thoroughly. I have reason to fear there are cases of contagion in this part of town. Our absolute priority is to find and cleanse them.
And how would you like me to proceed?
By all means necessary, Dr. Reed. You are now a member of the Ascalon Club and you have carte blanche. Interrogate the locals, follow all the leads you find, and get results.
Так, ну гипноз, да, повысили. Да. Ну вот, тебе можно пойти к той и загипнотизировать и пройти.
I think Lord Redgrave just suggested I was sired by an ancient vampire.
Давай попробуем пройти к его жонке, к этому чуваку.
Hello again, Venus.
Jonathan, you're still up. Can't you just knock at people's doors?
Не, вообще не подождут.
I'm sure you can spare me a few minutes. For old time's sake.
Of course you may enter, Jonathan. I'm so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
Так, ты пока стой, а я пока пройдусь по дому.
At least you survived the Great War. I feared
Так, лестница-то есть на второй этаж?
You know I'm
Есть.
not always welcome here.
It's locked.
Ага, о, сюда и нам. Ладно. Ладно, давай побазарим теперь с ней.
It's a pleasure to see you again, Venus.
So you returned from the war in one piece too. Thank God. My Clarence is back home too.
How is the old rascal?
Probably outside, chasing ghosts and chimeras. Clarence has changed a lot since he returned from the war, you know.
How have you been since the last time we met? How long has it been? 3 years now?
I've done my duty, like all British women. You have no idea what it was like to wait for months without knowing if I'd still be a wife or a widow.
I understand. Luckily, this part of town has been saved from the worst of the bombings, from what I've seen.
Yes, and it's also true about the epidemic. The flu has killed here too, of course, but not on such a large scale as in other parts of town.
Venus, why do you worry so much about your family's reputation?
Everyone laughs at Clarence now. And they avoid me because they believe I share his insane opinions. I'm a leper in my own community.
Have you noticed anything peculiar?
You mean except for your return to town? No. Oh, and again, Jonathan, please accept my condolences for your sister.
Thank you, Venus. It was so sudden, and I've been so busy, I haven't spoken to anyone about it.
I wish I could have assisted at the funeral, but you know, it's been so quick. And what with the epidemic in the streets?
There's no need to apologize, my dear. It's normal, considering the circumstances.
No, it's not. I am sure that Clarence has not even thought to present you his condolences. He is too busy with his penny dreadful stories.
Духота-то стоит невыносимая, а?
Why is my return so surprising?
It's more an unexpected happy end than a surprise. You and Clarence, back from the war. You have no idea how hard it's been for me.
Tell me about Clarence's obsession with vampires.
It drives me so crazy it makes my stomach hurt. I was so relieved to have him back. But I quickly realized he'd lost his mind in France.
I understand your irritation, Venus. But you have to accept the trauma Clarence endured on the battlefield.
The question is simple, Jonathan. Is my husband mad? Yes or no? Do vampires exist? Or is Clarence a lunatic?
Так, ну вот это.
So you don't believe Clarence?
If poor Mary, bless her soul, had tried to convince you of the existence of bloody vampires, would you have believed her? Seriously?
The important question is, what do you really think of your husband?
I'm tough, Jonathan. He should have told me the horrors he witnessed, however appalling it was, instead of inventing a fantasy about blood-drinking monsters.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual?
The McPhersons. I heard they locked themselves in their own house.
They could just be afraid of getting sick.
Perhaps you're right. But if I were you, I'd pay them a visit. A big house, reachable through a courtyard, to the north of the railway bridge.
Okay.
Good.
I'm so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
No invitation is needed to enter this building. That can't be a good sign. No sign of a struggle. It seems Charlotte's friend knew the killer and let him in. Emily wanted to become a vampire. Something must have gone wrong. Someone is responsible for this mess. But who? Blood. I should follow the trail.
Мри, падла.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same question.
I'm the Marquis de Bois-Colombes, and I strongly invite you to find your own game, sir.
I appreciate the invitation, but I'm here to solve the mystery concerning the death of a young woman killed by a vampire.
A young woman killed by a vampire? Oh, you're joking, right? Oh, I do love the British sense of humor.
What do you do?
I recently decided to visit London. I've always dreamed of visiting a city on the verge of collapse. Such a delicate, yet intense spectacle.
You take pleasure.
I have been a totally depraved and immoral creature since the day I was reborn, sir. And probably before.
What do you plan to do?
Take pleasure. Take pictures.
And who?
I am Jacques-Michel Guillaume Florimond de Marquis de Bois-Colombes, at your service, my dear cousin.
You're French, but your English is quite good.
I was born in France, sir, but I consider myself a traveler of this world. So many countries, so many tantalizing tastes.
Dear cousin, are we related?
We could be of the same blood, my dear. I tend to consider all Econs as family, don't you?
I followed the trail of blood from her room to here.
Oh, you're referring to that young woman. Yes, the meeting turned messy. I'm afraid I ruined my last redingote.
So you admit you murdered her?
I admit nothing, my good sir. I only regret the blood of that girl staining my clothes. Oh, blood can be so messy.
What happened?
She wanted to become one of us. Not the first time I have received such a proposal, but I must admit her direct approach tempted me.
And then what?
The body rejected my blood. It happens, you know, sometimes even with voluntary prey. At least her gurglings brought me some fun, until the artery burst.
I believe you, sir. Emily's diary confirms your statement.
Oh, Emily was her name. Quite charming.
Yes, I suppose so.
And so can you. Farewell, sir.
Так, ладно, мы найдем ее, сообщим. У меня другой вопрос. Идет этот чепушилу найти, во-первых. Так, это. Ни хрена себе, статью найти. Да. Ни хрена себе, где искать. Так, давайте, наверное, куда пойдем? Пойдем мы в порт. Нам надо, во-первых, этого придурка вылечить. И найти придурка этого вылечить. Поэтому погнали дальше. Пускай хрен с ним воюет. Ладно, ты здесь, да? Ай-яй-яй, они-то ульта стояла. Что-то новенькое. А не пошел бы ты нахрен. Да как? Умри. Сволочь. Ну ты падла. Да, мне кажется, он этот. Как раз вот эти здоровяки лохматые, они такими здоровенными бугаями становятся вампирами. Как я понял. Мне вот не найти вот эту а-ля охотника. Ну это нахер. Ладно, это не нужно. Ну это пускай умирают. Так, нам сюда вот надо. А я мог там пройти, да, по факту, наверное. Пойдем обратно. Ну, блин, зато они, зараза, сильные, я хочу сказать, очень. Давай через эти пройдем. Ой-ой-ой. Вот он, типа вот это, мне кажется, вот ты смутируешь этот лохматый. Ни хрена себе. Блин.
Kneel, traitor!
Ни хрена себе накидал камбуху. А чё-то они все такие сильные-то стали, а? А, вот и придурок где. Так, а как до тебя добраться? Чё, тебя глючит?
Good evening, Mr.
Dr. Reed, can I...
Do you need my
Actually, I may.
Treating a vampire hunter's wounds is...
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye.
Все. Этого дебила вылечили. Так, теперь надо в порт. Так, да, вот этого придурка найти надо, да, нам? А вот ожерелку или что-то драгоценности я так и не нашел по квесту, если честно. Вообще бред полный. Не понимаю, где искать. Мне казалось, что кто-то спер, может, а в итоге нет.
The sewer dog's fault, they say. Then the gangs, the epidemics, everyone's throwing them.
You... Do you need...
Yeah.
So you can...
Fair enough, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye.
Так, все, вылечили дураков. Так, нам осталось, теперь надо сюда как-то, да, пройти. Сюда пройти, там все найти. Это, ладно. А, нам еще в больницу надо, да, вернуться. Да, в принципе, давай вернемся. Фиг-то с ним. Как говорится, побазарим. На нахер. Что, так и сдохнуть можно? Так куда ты целишься, дурак? Дурак! Ой, вот это вообще жесткие парни. Как включишь свою шарманку, блин, свечащуюся, блин, все, блин, крови нету, ничего нету. И вот что хочешь, то и делай, блин. У меня тут все здоровые ходят. Сажать их всех, опыт прилетит. Так. Стрим идет? Нет? Да? Нет? БС-ка что-то нахрен вылетело. Кому идти? Зачем идти? Ты о чем? Да я просто что-то ОБС нахер вылетело. Дебильная, блин. Надо попробовать стримлапс настроить. Может получше.
Hello, Jonathan. Complicated, my friend. The rich and powerful feel threatened by the disease and have asked me to put an end to it.
Yes. It is odd how resolving a crisis suddenly increases in urgency when it affects those who matter.
Ну, там платные всякие плюшки и хренолюшки и вот эти всякие. А как у Беска-то, она, по-моему, бесплатная.
It looks like the epidemic is spreading to the western districts of London. I am trying to locate the source of the infection.
It won't be an easy task, my friend. This disease is highly contagious.
Do you not think epidemiology could be helpful in this matter? To retrace the origin of infection through time and topology?
If anyone can perform such a miracle, it will be you, Dr. Reed.
Since this epidemic is evidently linked to the vampire curse, we must find the original carrier to understand where it comes from.
I admire your logic, Jonathan, but be careful. Rationality, when it comes to your kind, is not always a reliable lens.
Do you know Aloysius Dawson, the famous tycoon, is well versed in vampire and occult knowledge?
No, I did not. But that is no surprise. For half a century, it has been quite the trend for English nobility to join secret societies and occult circles.
But Aloysius Dawson is only a rich merchant.
Yes, richer than Croesus. Wealth is more respected than title these days, even in England.
Did he contact the Brotherhood of St. Paul? Try to join your group?
It would not surprise me, but I am certain he's never been a member.
Does the Brotherhood of St. Paul know anything about the Ascalon Club?
Well, I'm afraid that's unlikely. Ascalon is a sensitive topic, and whatever material the Brotherhood has, I may not have access to.
Who could answer me then?
Usher Talltree, our current primate, may be the only one able to answer you. He's a discreet man who lives in the West End.
Thank you.
Окей. Так, ну пойдем покрафтим, разберем и еще раз покрафтим. Так, оружие. Угу, кусок алюминия нужен. Так, часть хорошей рукоятки вот надо бы нам, да? Еще одну. Нахрена пистолеты в этой игре, вообще не понимаю. Я вообще даже не пользуюсь ими. Банально. А чё, нам сюда? Пойдем спрыгнем. Так, блин, точки эти гребаные убрать. Так, вот сюда вот нам надо, да? Где-то. Так, я там смогу, блин, это надо вот так вот и туда, да. Наши дурака, блин. Который будет с вами сражаться. Ага, сейчас. О, я же проходил.
Idiots! Last warning, sir! Get a weapon to I'll kill it! Put some of that! I'll kill it! You leeches!
Лашпеды. Так, найти ресторан, где она... Так. Ресторан. Да ладно, вот так вот сразу. Неплохо. Я так понимаю, тут нет, да, ресторана никакого. Что-то никакого ресторана я тут не на... Бежим. Не нашел. Значит, нам туда. Да, не хватает мини-карты, если честно, для меня лично.
It's locked, all right.
Интересно, как открыть?
Fresh water. As long as it's not holy water, I may find some use for it.
Даже так вот, да? А, ну это мы тут китайцы этого спасли.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm...
Goodbye, Mr.
Please, sir. There! What? No!
Коробушку свою. Открытый рынок, ни хрена себе.
Sorry, sir, no admittance. Don't come no closer. It's one of them.
Want some of this? Kill you! Die, then! Fight for this! Filthy killing's all you deserve! I'll send you to hell!
Да куда ты, дурак?
A restaurant where the guests are blindfolded before being seated. Intriguing.
А, нашел, смотри-ка.
It's locked.
Ну, может, через стекло как-то вжих туда, не? Ну, ладно. Ну, давай побегаем. Хорошая двухстволка. Нахрен непонятно, для чего все это надо.
This is Braille. I need someone who can read this. I cannot enter.
Ладно. Жесть.
I have found a restaurant that could...
Really?
It's a place where you eat in complete darkness and try to identify your meal without anything but your palate.
My, oh my, how interesting. It could even be fun to eat a little poisson et frites that way. Oh, thank you, Dr. Reed. Please, have this for your research.
200, ни хрена себе.
I may have...
Так, давай так сделаем.
I'm investigating the source of the...
Not really. Wait, now that you mention it, I don't see the McPhersons in my favorite restaurants. They love delicate meals too, you understand.
Thank you. It may be nothing, but I'll investigate anyway. Where do they live?
They have a house in the southern part of the district, somewhere north of the railway bridge. There is a courtyard, if I remember rightly.
Goodbye.
The night is...
Women's right to vote is only the first...
Good evening.
And good...
I have found out what...
I can handle the truth. There's no need to hide the bloody details.
Your friend was planning to become a vampire. She thought she'd met an honest man and made a deal with him. Unfortunately, Emily did not survive the process.
My mother told me many times about the risks of being turned. I often suspected she exaggerated the danger to avoid me being tempted.
No, the risk is real. Have you any idea what a body has to endure? To become an organism entirely consumed by its need to process and recombine blood.
I should never have talked to Emily about vampires. I never thought she'd actually try it without me. Thank you, sir. Here, take this for your discretion.
О, ни хрена себе. А для кого был кол-то, интересно? Для матери? 5 уровень уже, ни хрена себе.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
A few days ago, I spotted a strange house while campaigning for women's suffrage. Awful smell. No answer when I knocked.
Where is it?
It's the Mullaneys, a nice family who live in a big house near the park in the eastern part of this neighborhood.
Goodbye.
She's been...
Уже 2 информации.
Remember, don't let any
Good
strangers
evening.
come into your house.
I'm investigating...
Infection is everywhere these days. And if you ever go to the park near that swanky...
Yes?
Not enough noise for a big family with children.
You...
Так. У нас 2 точки, да? Сюда и сюда. Это ты. Прям туда.
There's safer places to be than here.
Мне туда,
Why
да?
are vampire hunters
Oi,
sniffing
you
around?
listening?
I need to find out what they're after.
See them fancy clothes? This one's a top.
падла. Не, ну мы прицел убогий, вот честно. Ну куда ты вот того целься, да. А, жесть. Это как проверка на ведьм, да, было в Европе. Утонула, значит, это не ведьма. Так.
It's locked.
И что нам делать? Нам, значит, другой вход найти надо. А, ну, нашли. Ни хрена себе.
This woman's body has multiple lacerations. They're deep, too. Whoever did this was driven by rage.
Так, ну больше тут нет ничего. Ну, хрен вот, вот муженек.
He had his tongue removed and his eyes gouged out. He was a victim of brutal torture. This one's neck is broken. He was young. Probably the son.
Блин, нахрена покупал опять? Чисто гребаный какой-то, я не знаю. Так. Чумная.
I was dead too, didn't you? No, I was just pretending. Doris told me I could have been a great actress.
You killed your family.
They mocked my talent.
Ух ты, ё-моё. А, ну, кстати. Вообще ни о чем, да? Ой, фу-фу-фу-фу. Ай-яй-яй. Сейчас все тут. Ай-яй-яй. Фу-фу. Блин, тут урон-то ни о чем. Брось бяку. Да чтоб тебя. Я тебе начинаю, нахрена пистолеты нужны. На нахер. Я сейчас так откинусь. С этими ядами. Нахрен. А! Фу-фу-фу-фу.
radical mutation? Could it be a new stage in the disease's evolution?
Фу, противная баба. Да, это и да, она типа яда и чё тут остаются. Так, а чё, кровь, ничего не надо? А вот что-то есть.
So, this girl took lessons at the famous Doris Fletcher acting school.
Да, не хухры-мухры. Надо это оружку сделать более мощной. Так, теперь нам надо вон туда. Ах ты ж падла.
Best be moving on. You get them weapons ready! Be strong, brothers! Filthy murdering bastard! Fall back to the hell that spawned you!
Давай сюда пойдем. А, давай в дом, наверное, зайдем. Оружку сделаем себе. Короче, ладно, хрен с ним, улучшаем вот это. О, урон сколько будет сразу. И все, потом расход выносливости, либо оглушение, да? Лучше выносливость, наверное, прокачать. Ну да ладно. Ой-ой. Назад. Ну, в принципе... Ну, это, блин, для другой руки, но у меня нету нормальной одноручной оружки. Если какая-нибудь хотя бы фиолка бы упала бы за это время. Но все эти топорики... Мачете, топорик клея. Клея, да? Блин, ну и что в итоге? Ну, смысл просто. Спать тоже пока не будем, пока побегаем, квесты выполняем. Нам пока хватает навыков и скиллов всех этих. Лесоруб, добрый вечер. Вечер, да? Ну, еще почти вечер. Так, разворот туда.
That building is under quarantine. Could this be what I'm looking for? It's locked, all right.
Здравствуй, Ольга. Так, а как попасть туда? Вот туда еще можно попробовать, да? А сколько плюс время-то? Я понял, где я. Там волчара. Ах ты ж... японский городовой. Дави. Нахер. Иди сюда, псина. Шатай нахрен. Палка, вот дубинка тебе крепкая. А почему бы нет? Вчера была. Тогда тут откроем. Пускай будет. Ну, какие-то они как-то по-другому называются. Я так понял, вот из этих типа оборотней вот эти здоровенные вампиры делают всякие качки. О, да, сюда. Портанешься? Блин. Ну, я посмотрел, в принципе, вторая неплохо получается уклонов. Я как-то обычно, ну, не силен, говорю же, по Star Wars. По описанию, вроде вторая неплохая. Так, а как попасть? Я так понимаю, туда портануться надо как-то. Блин. Ну, давай. Эй, нахрен. Так. А вот все, прицел сработал. Ох, но если это будет кому интересно, то в принципе можно будет попробовать. Так, ага. Я, получается, да, пришел куда надо. Вот ты, блин. Ой-ой-ой. Забыл, что она взрывается. Просто мне, если честно, больше импонирует вселенная Вахи.
You infected the whole family! I said I...
Охренеть, не встать. Не, серьезно? Ну это перебор. Явный перебор. Ай-яй. Да, блин. Умри нахрен. И я сейчас чуть не умер. Блин, что, всем интересно, сколько мне лет-то, как, а? Можем считать, что 30. Так, я понял, собрать сведения на втором источнике. Ну, я собрал, и чё? 60. А, это письмушка, да? Такие шубы. Что это, что-то скорее. Горячие цветы, пожалуйста, возвращайся скорее. Дорис опять.
So the husband had an affair with Doris Fletcher.
Ну, может, микрофон искажает. Как бы, в принципе. Ну. Мо, ни хрена себе. Я говорю, блин, тут ну, ружье поперли, ружья нахрен. Только вот что-то палку бы дали, какую-нибудь выбивалку. Нормально.
Doris Fletcher seems to be the missing link here. It can't just be a coincidence. I should go to her acting school.
Ну да, согласен. Не показатель. Так, это что, леди Эшбери. Правильно прочитал? Да. Так, вообще у нас опыт. Ладно, в принципе, фиг с ним. Мать вашу, за ногу. Опять я забыл, да? Блин.
This is despicable.
Посмотрим, пройдем сначала, как говорится, кампанию, а дальше видно будет. Так, ага. А я смогу там пройти? По-моему, нет. А, нет, смогу. Пойдем к ней домой, зайдем, побазарим.
Good evening, Jonathan.
I'm still investigating from inside the Ascalon Club. Can we talk?
Of course, my dear.
I have investigated new sources of infection, and I may have found a new type of skull. One suffering from heavy mutations that is extremely contagious.
Skulls come in various forms, you know. They are simply degenerate versions of their makers.
I believe these families are different, and I'm currently pursuing a lead. I know I can find the true source of contagion by finding who created these creatures.
That would be great news. Be very careful, my dear, when dealing with such creatures.
How is your...
I have decided to explore beyond the dictates of reason.
What do you mean?
You may on occasion find this house closed when you visit me. If so, it is because I have gone undercover. Sort of.
Who are you going to surveil? I hope you're not considering spying on McCullum or the Guard of Prewen.
No. I intend to ask a few questions in parts of town I rarely venture into. Dirty places where a delicate lady like myself should never be seen.
Нежная леди, но не.
When will you return?
As soon as possible. And I don't intend to stay away for long.
There are many paintings adorning the walls here.
Yes?
Did you paint them?
No, my dear. But some of them. I have had a long time to learn from the best. I'm currently working on what could be my greatest masterpiece.
What is this masterpiece?
Your portrait, my dear Jonathan. It will be my gift to you, if I ever have time to finish it.
Have you met any famous painters?
Are you trying to divine my age by cross-checking historical dates, my dear? That's a devious parlor trick.
Well, Elizabeth, I tried my best. Don't I deserve some reward at least?
Well, if you must know, I even posed for the greats. Now that you know it, you may recognize me when visiting museums.
Хитрая, блин.
Goodbye, my dear.
Goodbye.
Я когда только решил, что мы любовники-то тут. Ага, смотри-ка, ну. Относительно. Так, ну что, давай узнаем, что-то как. И будем потихоньку завершать стрим. Вот что тебе надо, а? Ну, что тебе надо, чувак, умри. Ну, падай. Бамс. Угу, нам сюда, да?
It's locked.
Закрыто, кто бы сомневался. Пробраться в театр. Да чё ж ты, зараза, такой огромный, а?
I cannot enter.
Get them weapons ready. We found one.
Ах ты, падла.
Have no fear, brothers.
Да, чтоб тебя, иди ты нахрен.
No. Snap it, leech. Bloody leech.
Ой-ой-ой.
Away with you.
Блин, скотина. Ух! Умри. Так, не знаю, зачем я это сделаю, но пускай будет. Так, ладно. И как уж, зараза, тебя пробраться, а? Театр, театр. Ну, это бред. Ни хрена он не маленький. Ну и нахрена нам и сюда надо. Да, смотря какие игры, опять же говорю, интересуют. Если что-то хочешь так, как конкретно, может быть, оно имеется. А, я, кажется, догадываюсь.
There's an open window on the second floor. I should be able to get in through that. It's locked, all right.
На втором этаже открыто окно. Чё? Где? По барабану. Не, ну у меня есть планы после этой игры, и как бы еще там я сюжеточку нашел, еще одну игру. Но вообще-то мне их так хватает вроде бы. А, сюда. Погнали.
Woe to you, nations of hypocrites. For in front of you stands the tall queen.
Can that be Doris Fletcher's voice? Where does it come from?
Охренеть. Да чтоб, блин, а.
Woe to you, nations of hypocrites.
Да, чувствую, будет весело сейчас. Сейчас мы вот дверь откроем себе сразу. Да, есть на канале метро 2033. Только исходу, на исход, вот это последнее.
Woe
Нет, остальные нет.
Who are you? You who dared enter my realm. Are you here to worship or mock me?
I'm here to put an end to the vampire epidemic, Miss Fletcher.
Ah. But Doris Fletcher is no more. She was consumed by this putrid flesh that now enshrouds her.
You feel anger for what happened to you, but I can help you. I'm a doctor, Miss Fletcher.
Doris Fletcher is no more. All that remains are the dreams of the queen she was, and the queen she'll be.
Че, она с катушек съехала?
Until then, all shall die, for that was her final wish.
Че, кого?
My blade, arise and save your queen, my slaves. Ha, ha, ha. I smell your fear.
Блин.
Ha, ha. On guard.
Да падла вот мелкая. Скотина. Он нахрена вот это, я не понимаю, в таких играх делать. Сволочи.
Your blood will be mine. On guard. Ha, ha, ha. Touché, sir.
Ой, серьезно, и все?
I smell your fear.
Блин, ну она сильная по уровню.
Behold, Kinslayer, the disgrace of sheep.
Ух ты, ни хрена себе. Ё-моё, чё там с рукой-то? Так, она теневой урон боится. Что-то на Resident Evil похоже уже. Блять.
I summon thee, my children of the night. Fight, maim, spit, kill!
Да, кали, кали, дурак! Блин. Да ну нахрен. Короче, надо ульту менять. А, ну все, у нас поменялось, ошибись.
My blade shall pierce your villainous heart. Touché.
Touché. Умри.
Your hand is shaking.
А, еще и попала. Ты охренела.
Behold, Kinslayer, the disgrace of sheep she was once renowned.
Охренеть.
Will she be the queen again once they all share her fate? Ha! Ha! Ha!
Да куда ты, блядь? Ну и умер нахрен от яда опять. Хоть выходи, прокачивайся.
Woe unto thee, son of Babylon!
Да как ты попала-то?
For your queen commands you. My blade shall pierce your behold, Kinslayer, the disgrace of she.
Да вот бесит вот эта вот мышь. Прицеливание. Да какого хрена? Бляха, ну умри. Да и ты, сука. Бомбит начинает. Да и туда ты, вот это ударь. Ну. Жесть. А, нельзя блокировать, я понял. Ой-ой-ой, вот это что было-то? Мразь. Ульта очень жесткая продамажила, но минус ульти то, что надо как-то выживать. Слишком долгий откат. Ладно, блин. А, у нас еще, кстати, лекарство тратится, да? А, у меня такая была фишка, когда сохранилась перед смертью. Давай сразу.
Behold, Kinslayer, the disgrace of she whose beauty was once renowned. Will she be the queen again once they all share her fate?
Ах ты. Ну, прицел здесь дурацкий, вот честное слово. Вот это бред. А чё с выносливостью? Охренеть, блядь, просто не восстанавливается и все. Не, короче, это походу реально хотя бы пару уровней взять. Пойдем на 7000, может заодно сейчас ульту вкачаем. Что-то жестко. Да, тут 8 уровней разницы все-таки. И хотя бы жрат хилок всем возьмем. А вы-то что тут делаете? Вот я говорю, прицел говно. По оружию-то этого... А, все, да, зашибись. Палка-то последний уровень. Эпическая, легендарная теперь. Можно дробовик, конечно, сделать. Прокачать. Так, а где у нас хата-то? Ёпарас, это ни хрена себе. Мне через этих мудаков надо пройти. Хотя не обязательно. Не хочу я с ними бодаться. Да ты-то откуда? Блин. Ну давай. Все. Угомонился. Мать вашу, и вы, и тут вы, да? Куда ни попрись, вы везде, твари. Давай, это маленький уровень. На нахер. С вами дураками бодаться вообще ничего не стоит. Блин, я что, хату пропустил за него? Так, это есть, это... По факту проще это делать. Порушки. Ну, блин, мне не хватает каких-то кусков алюминия. Ну, тут лучше выносливость потратить сделать. Ага, у нас, кстати, мы какую-то... Отличный помповый дробовик. Оружие дальнего боя. Слушай, интересно. 480. А я что-то не посмотрел. А к чему она не... Блин, просто смысл делать-то не будет сильного. Это ближний урон. 480. Огне увеличивать огневой мощи. Так, урон. Слушай, прикольно. То есть против зверей вампиров, против людей. Интересно. А, вот оно, что для чего нужны тут. То есть по факту можно так сделать. Так сделать. А вот тут надо думать. А, тут надо фосфор найти. Интересно, в натуре. Так, у меня первого оружия нету никакого нормального. Ну да, как я и говорю, 170, 200. Это сколько? 15 урона добавится. 250 будет. Ну, кровь зато пополняется, да? Да хрен его знает, честное слово. Честно, я бы ружье, наверное, фосфор бы замутил. Осталось... Ай-яй-яй, назад. Во. Так, а добавляет 3 единицы оглушения, когда оружие наносит... Привет. Так, либо расход уменьшает. В принципе, наверное, лучше расход пускай будет. Так, поспать. Пойдем прокачаемся. Это. Лучше выносливость, конечно. Так, слушай, а ну-ка. Если я топор возьму, мне надо в руку будет тогда ружье, да? Страшная сила, блин. А у нас патронов мало. Вообще невыгодно. Так, давайте теневой урон возьмем. Запас 1000. Тысяча 200. Полторы тысячи. Давай, да. Придется это тоже прокачивать. Попробуем. Ну, сильно-то, конечно, вообще не вкачались, я хочу сказать. Ну и хрен ты с ним, ладно. Но это лучше, чем ни хрена. То есть вообще это и... Переутомление, головная боль у нас нету, головная боль, зашибись. У меня даже лекарства этого нету. А, ну этот придурок заболел, да? Понятно. Из-за этих двух дур и нам еще кого-то не найти, да? Странно. Ну да ладно. Не понимаю. Так, ладно, погнали. Я красава. Да блин. Патроны кто брать будет? Ну и хрен с ним. Так, ну туда обратно.
He's mine! I'll take it! Filthy piece of shit!
Ну, да. Так, вот это.
Please, sir. Easy does it, boys. We cannot be defeated. Filthy murdering bastard.
Ну, блин, если честно, такое двоякое дело-то. А как-то мне кровь поглощать тогда? Блин, ну ладно. Я, получается, поглощать-то кровь-то не смогу. У меня нет оружия оглушения-то. На одном уклонении далеко не уедешь. Ну, про то я и говорю. Это мне нахрен, это не то. Все равно как по мне. Так. Что-то я заплутал. Ну, вообще-то ружье будет весьма эффективно. Давай, до свидания. Весьма неплохо. А, я понял, что меня... Падла. Вдвойне падла. Иди ты нахрен, дура. Моя ульта сейчас откатится и все, на. До свидания.
I smell your shit. I summon thee, my children of the night. Fight, maim, spit, kill.
Охренеть, у вас немало.
My blade shall pierce your villainous heart, dark prince.
Да, я понял, городовой. Живи, дурак!
Wait.
Ёпта, страшно ты как стало.
What?
I don't want to die.
Да ну нафиг, правда?
I did not come to kill you, Miss Fletcher.
Will you spare me then?
Нет, конечно, нафиг.
Cadaverous carcass of mine. Does your heart beat a little faster now? You fancy me then, Doctor?
No, Miss Fletcher. My dead heart will beat for only one.
Ah! Is she pretty? Is she sweet and tender?
To me, yes.
Ah! I hate her already.
I know. And this is partly why you must be destroyed.
But you just said...
That I did not come here to kill you, yes. But I realize now the threat you embody must be stopped.
Давай, сожгись, сожгись. Жух.
Will I be remembered? Will you?
You were Doris Fletcher, the greatest actress of her generation. No one can take that from you.
Thank you.
А, сама себя, да? И правильно.
Farewell.
А чё в уголке-то, а не на сцене?
Farewell, Doris.
Вопрос остается, кто ее заразил.
Bravo! So dramatic. I love it.
McCullum.
How strange I seem to find you whenever I'm inquiring about that skull infestation.
I mean you no harm.
I'm not here for you. But once I've put all the pieces of the puzzle together, I'm sure we'll have a little chat, you and me.
Stay away from me, McCullum. You and all your war dogs.
That I can't guarantee, Dr. Reid. But I'll let you go. For now.
I should probably leave the theater right now. The West End should be safe now. But London is not. It would be wise to benefit from the Ascalon's protection while I continue my research during the Great Hunt.
Ну, ладненько. Неплохо, неплохо. Да, все-таки надо качаться и прокачиваться. Но чтобы это делать, надо по факту хомячить всех этих людей. Вот.
These people want me dead. I need to leave now.
Ну, фиг его знает, посмотрим. Так, нам дали саблю какую-то. 140. А, ну выносливость у нее небольшая. Небольшое потребление.
So Doris just needed to be close to her audience to infect them. Contagion through skin. Very disturbing.
Да чтоб вас. Либо туда, да? Ладно, давай сюда. Вот, ладненько, я думаю, можно здесь, наверное, сохраниться. Так, а, у нас доктор Сони. Ладно. Ладненько, я думаю, тогда здесь можно и остаться, сохраниться. Вот, на этом пока все. Вечерком еще стрим будет, часиков 8. Ну, или после 8 где-нибудь. Там посмотрим. Так что спасибо, кто смотрел, поставил лайк, подписался. И всем до следующей серии. Всем пока.